Remember, since we are in Shadows Over Innistrad and we've got double face cards, we're going to do a little segment here at the beginning where everybody holds up their double face card, or in the case of Huey Jensen, double face cards. You see he's got 2 of them in his hand over there.
What do you
get? He has a thing in the ice as a convicted killer. I'm not sure what Reed's opened up here, but it was a werewolf of some sort probably.
Which one is that on his right? It's green. I can
It's
see the side of it.
Exactly sideways. I think it was a solitary hunter, but I can't be sure. He's holding it perfectly perpendicular to our camera view. It's pretty impressive, actually.
It's green.
Might have been Hermit of the Natternulls. I couldn't quite get it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which one it was.
Yeah.
How relevant it was.
So the players are going to be taking note of this, and then they're going to be instructed to start the draft, and they're going to look at their packs, and off we're going to go. Now, I was just down in the feature match area chatting with some of the players, and I bumped into Reed, and I asked him how he was feeling. He said, I'm a little nervous, which it kind of surprised me just because he's been down there so often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just recently won Grand Prix Oakland.
He's right in the thick of the Grand Prix Player of the Year race, too. That world spot
Well,
may
maybe
come
that's
down
why
to.
he's nervous.
You know who else is right in the thick of that?
Who's that?
Fabrizio Antari,
That's right.
who is also at this table. The two of them are like a point apart.
Oh, wow. So that's an heir to Falconwrath there.
Oh, for Reed, sure.
Yeah. Now, is that on his? That is his card there, right?
I
It's a
assume.
little confusing that. Yeah, okay, there he's reaching for it. Looks like that's the one.
Reed is feeding Ferran Villa at this table, who is the only 12-0.
Directly on his left there in
Exactly.
the bright shirt. Okay.
Yeah, and Reed's being fed by Weinhardt. Don't know his first name. See Marcio Carvalho up there next to Huey. Also was undefeated overnight and then 2-1 on Pod 1 to stay on Pod 1. Are we off?
All right, and here we go. So we know the heir to Falconwrath is going to be the front runner because that is an excellent card. He's also found an Ever After here, which I don't think quite competes with it. Oh, a Deadweight too. Wow, lots of good black cards in this
and
pack.
Tooth Collector too. He's passing black whether he likes it or not.
But he is going to take the heir to Falconwrath,
that
I think, and that is the best card in the pack. That card is fantastic.
It's funny. The normal drawback of passing that much good black is that your opponents may not realize that you're black, right? It looks like a signal, except it won't.
It won't.
Ferran Villa knows good and well that Reed first picked heir of Falconwrath, so he's just going to go, oh, I guess the pack just had a bunch of good black cards in it and make his decision with that extra information.
Yeah, which is interesting for him. It's less interesting for Reed. It doesn't really change a whole lot for Reed, as he's still just going to take the best card out of the pack, even had he not had that signal to send.
Well, I think it means that if you thought it was close, you would want the face-up card.
Truth.
Oh, wow. And Tari opened a Kindly Stranger over on the other side of the table.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Duskwatch Recruiter was what Villa opened on Reed's left. I assume he took that. I haven't seen word yet.
So that was a Hermit of the Natternulls, by the way, that was opened on Reed's right. It got passed to him here. He's looking at Pour Over the Pages as a potential pick.
Yeah, Reed's 3-0 deck in the first draft this morning was blue-black.
Kind of interesting. The heir to Falconwrath, traditionally would go in a more aggressive deck, but it's fine even outside of it. Like, you don't want to typecast that card too much. It can go in basically any deck.
Pour Over the Pages?
Wow.
Pour
sweet.
Over the Pages.
Go Reed. I like this.
I'm guessing Villa took the... Yeah, Villa did first pick Duskwatch Recruiter on Reed's left.
Whoa, Anguish Unmaking here. Third pick, nice little removal spell there. He's also got a Manic Scribe pulled up near the front.
Really?
And a Stitched Mangler's kind of looming. There it is.
I have not seen somebody take Manic Scribe aggressively.
I haven't either. I would assume he's just going to take the Anguished Unmaking here. And, it is the most powerful card in the pack. It keeps him relatively open. He can go a different direction here. And also he might just splash it.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Anguish Unmaking hurts. 3 damage, the 3 loss of life can hurt. But, man, the flexibility, the instant speed, it's hard to argue with that. There's a Vessel of Ephemera. Olivia's Bloodsworn. That's interesting.
Apothecary Geist is solid too.
Yeah, not too bad. I would assume you take the Bloodsworn here. It does keep you potentially down a path that you may or may not want to go down. I mean, the heir to Falconwrath and the Olivia's Bloodsworn work very well together, but
Agreed.
they really do want to be in a red-black Vampire deck. Olivia's Bloodsworn has an activated ability for red, and it just tends to go, you can get the Madness Vampires in red and put them up with your Heir to Falcon Wrath.
Just 2-drop Vampire, though, is going to be good in any...
Yeah, and it does have
It's a nice
flying.
curve filler in any black deck.
Chips away, yeah. I mean, it can't block, so, like, if he does end up being blue-black control, it really does lose some of its luster. There's a Voldurian Duelist. That's going to catch his eye for sure. A Rise from the Tides, huh, Reed?
He went straight to the front with that. There's a nice fork in the road. Are you vampires or are you blue-black value?
And it is it's more like a T in the road.
Right. Right. You want the hard left turn or the hard right turn?
Yeah, because we're talking about two very different strategies here as well. Wow, he took the Lamplighter?
Yep.
I did not expect him to take that there. But it does look like he wants to stick on the blue plan, and he doesn't feel like he needs to take the Rise from the Tides, which is true. I mean, that card is not great. Right, I mean, you can set it up and build around it and have it be pretty darn great, but it's not like you just put it in your deck and expect it to be good.
Right. It's another Lamplighter if that's where he wants to go.
Sanitarium Skeleton is a card he may be interested in having one of, depending on how his build fleshes out. Wow, another Lamplighter for Reed. So he's moving into blue-black zombies here, it looks like.
Fabrizio first picked that Kindly Stranger, by the way. The Hermit of the Natternals got all the way to him 4th.
Okay.
So looking green-black.
Gone Missing, a Corrupted Graphstone. There's also a Merciless Resolve if Reed feels like he could use a little bit of card draw. I'm curious to see if he gets anything back out of that first pack.
Took the land.
Yeah, he took the lake there. That's kind of interesting to me, too. Is
it
does give him the ability to activate the Olivia's Bloodsworn, but I don't think that's really a priority for him. Jace's Scrutiny. Oh, and a Rancid Rats, too. There's also a Scourge Wolf fairly late, but I have to say that card hasn't really performed amazingly in when I've seen it, and it's also quite tough to cast at red. So he's just going to take the Rancid Rats. I like that pick. There's another Rise from the Tides. There's a Press for Answers and a Gone Missing as well.
Interestingly, by the way, Weinhardt on Reed's right, feeding him, took Thing in the Ice 3rd.
Oh, he got it 3rd.
He got Thing in the Ice 3rd. So he knows there's a blue mage on his right.
It doesn't seem to be affecting him too much.
No, it doesn't. I was surprised to just see that in the Skype chat, given how much blue Reed's been sucking down.
Look at this magnifying glass for Reed. I mean, it's the late part of the pack, but still. Maybe he'll play it.
All value. All the time.
I doubt he'll play it. A lot of red cards still floating around. Looks like nobody's moved in on red here. I mean, these are playable cards, even with only 4 cards left in the pack. And he super wheeled the Vessel of Ephemera. There's also a Shambleback, but...
Paramnesia.
Ah, thank you, yes. And the Vessel of Malignity here, too. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say that this first pack went swimmingly here for Duke, but it's not terrible.
It sounds right. Get a couple solid vampires. He's got the Anguish Unmaking, but no white.
Right, no white to cast it yet.
He's blue-black largely on color preference. This is blue-black despite having a Thing in the Ice drafted on his right.
Exactly.
But yeah, he wanted pour through the pages. He got a Rise from the Tides relatively late.
Yeah, the Pour Over the Pages was, what, his second pick?
Yeah, because that was before the Thing in the Ice.
Heir of Falcon Wrath. And then he's got the Olivia's Bloodsworn, which is starting to look a little bit out of place here. All right, well, this next pack is going to be a big one for him, as it's going to really solidify his strategy. He's got that Heir of Falcon.
No, that's what I was laughing about. He sorted his cards such that the Heir was on top of his pile and put it back down.
All right, so now they're revealing their cards here. It looks like a Gatstaff Arsonist here for Duke, which is not something that's going to interest him particularly.
Yeah, not a lot of signaling value left. Maybe a little bit of just like knowing what's around in case you still have a color question. At this point, people are mostly drafting.
Yeah, it's more like what I hope to get. Oh, there's an interesting one, a Slayer's Plate. Geist Blast as well. A Mad Prophet, my goodness. There's a Stormrider Spirit. I've been really impressed by Slayer's Plate. It is costly to equip at 3 mana, but my goodness, it makes basically anything into a dragon or, you know, some +4/+2 just turns every creature into something that must be dealt with at some point. It's unlikely that Reed is going to have the human synergy of it going on. Where
Sure.
if the equipped creature dies and it was a human, you get a 1/1 flying spirit. Basically, a ghost shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to happen much in Reed's build here. But still, +4/+2 is the real deal, and he took it. I've been really impressed with it. Ooh, Call the Bloodline.
Interesting.
There's also a Reckless Scholar there. He pulled that to the front immediately. I bet you that's what he's going to take.
Perfected form.
Yeah, interesting. Wow, look at this pack.
It's a lot of blue.
Yeah, there's a Throttle in here, too. Twins of Maurer Estate.
Jeez.
I think Reckless Scholar's still the pick, but he is going to get something back
There's
out of this.
8 playable blue and black cards.
Confirmed Suspicion's a rare.
This is you just want the escape, right? I'll just take this pack and be done.
Oh, yes.
I don't need to participate in the rest of this pack.
Wow, that
Just
pack
give me
is
these.
absurd.
There's
Look
8
at
cards
that.
for
There's
him.
literally 8 cards he would play.
Happily.
It's insane. Yeah, I like the Reckless Scholar pick. That's the one that turns on everything else.
Yeah.
It's one of the most important creatures in the format. You see the players that have had a chance to play this format a little bit, they will do anything to get a Reckless Scholar off the battlefield as fast as possible.
Twins.
There's
Even
Trail
better
of
now that
Winds.
he's got a Madness outlet.
And there's Adjust the Wind. Oh, and a Nahiri. Oh, you see him turn his head sideways, but I think that ship has sailed. I think he's probably going to end up with Adjust the Wind here. I mean, there are some considerations to making flamboyant splashes, but I don't
Just
think
the wind
that
is good, though. It's not like
good. Yeah.
If it's not like the pack is relatively dry, the pack is actually just fine.
He just took a Reckless Scholar as well.
Right,
All right.
right.
Sorry, Nahiri. You're going to have to find a home elsewhere. Reed Duke does not have room.
In double face card news, Via opened and picked Westvale Abbey.
And that's the player directly on Reed's left.
Yes. Right.
On his right.
No, left. Sorry.
Okay,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. Via's on his left. Feeding him this pack.
Here's a Macabre Waltz and a Ghostly Wings. Behind the scenes, not going to fit the theme here for Reed. Jace's Scrutiny could. Looks like he wants to go for value with Macabre Waltz. I like that. He's already got an Air Falcon Wrath, and he's also got the Reckless Scholar. There's going to be cards in the graveyard.
Yeah, it feels slightly early, but I mean the pack didn't really have much, and it's a card
Exactly.
you do want to wind up with one of.
Yep. There's a To the Slaughter. Seagraph Scob, not amazing. Gyre Reach Bandit, and there's a Crow. I would expect him to actually just take the Crow here.
Sure.
He is a little light on removal, so he may think that To the Slaughter is a necessary card here. I haven't been super impressed by it thus far, and the Crow has other synergies with this deck, but yeah, he feels like he needs to go for the removal spell here. Also, I mean, he did just pass into Nahiri.
Get to Delirium. 2 for 1 you. Sounds pretty good.
Could happen. Crazy how open red is as well.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing.
All right, there's a Drownyard Explorers for Reed, a Manic Scribe.
That first Manic Scribe did not come back.
No, it didn't. Assuming he just wants the Explorers here.
I assume so as well.
You know, he's starting to trudge into the curve picks and how many creatures do I have and these type of questions as well, where it's not necessarily just a power level thing.
I mean, it seems like he settled into this blue-black sort of value deck, which is not a particular favorite that I've heard a lot of people talking about, but which is what Reed 3-0'd his first draft with this morning.
Reed loves blue, black, and limited as well, just in general.
Yeah.
I think he's going to take a Merciless Resolve here. The Fevered Visions doesn't really fit his theme super well, and he would have to do some work to splash it. He does have one dual land to help with that, but the problem is I think that Fevered Visions really wants to be in a tempo deck. It really wants to be in a deck that can apply some early pressure and keep your opponent off balance, and his deck is not that.
So much red floating around.
Stromkirk Mentor.
Yeah, card's fine.
Yeah. He's got a couple of vampires. I guess you could play
Right.
it. Yeah, the red is insane, though. I mean, not that any of those 3 red cards are game breakers, but still.
Well, I mean, Pyrohound, if it gets into the right deck, can be.
That's true. Yeah, and the Arsonist has done fine work, if you need a 5-mana spell.
Another Arsonist. Wow,
Yeah,
Stormrider Spirit came around,
That's
though.
good. Now, has that pack come back yet?
What I think that was his first pack.
The one with all the, I'm talking about the one with all the black cards, the 8 black cards.
Oh, I think that's the next one.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is it. Look at that. He wheeled a throttle out of it and an Aberrant,
Or an Aberrant Researcher.
Confirmed Suspicions is still here too, which is a card I'm actually a pretty big fan
I
of.
wish there were 8 good blue and black
Yeah,
cards.
and he's going to take the Aberrant Researcher. Wow, there's
That makes
still
sense.
3 cards that he would love out of that pack. Jace's Scrutiny here. Cards pulled
Yeah.
its weight.
Agreed.
Also just nice to have a few cheap spells to make sure your opponent doesn't start, transforming werewolves. Looks like Reed isn't big on Ghostly Wings. It may just not fit into this strategy particularly well.
Yeah,
either.
I think it's better in green-blue, where you can put it on a giant werewolf, green-red, where you can put it on like a Pyre Hound.
And he's going to take the Seagroth Scob. He's not going to go for the vessel there. And he finds a Ghostly Wings last pick. Okay, so this is pack 2 in the books here for Reed Duke. So he's stayed the course. He passed in Nahiri this pack. He still has that Anguish Unmaking with no white mana currently able to splash for it. So he'll be keeping an eye on that. Well, he certainly stayed on plan. Look at his pile of cards.
Yeah.
They're just all blue and black. Wow. Still, his deck feels kind of medium right now, right? I mean, this doesn't...
It's not bomb laden.
Right.
I mean, at some level, this is like, okay, he's got the colors he likes to draft, but how good is this deck actually? Good enough this morning, but I mean, is there even a rare in his pile? The removal spell,
Yeah.
which barely counts. Like, it functions like a Diabolic Edict. It's like an overcosted edict in limited.
Exactly. Okay, pack 3 incoming for Duke here. Let's see how this comes together for him. The players are now going to show their double face cards to everybody at the table. They all have to
The black
look
one is
around and
right.
look. There is. I think that's an Accursed Witch.
That's what I thought it was too.
And you know what?
That sounds great.
That's nice.
It's exactly the kind of card Reed wants. Traded for something, get the inevitability of the curse.
Yeah. Okay, he found another Ever After here. And Ever After seems very good in Reed's deck. I think he's actually going to be pretty excited to have open an Ever After here.
Is it very good?
I think it is. I think he's got the Reckless Scholar.
I'll give you good.
I think he's going to be able to get 2 creatures very consistently off of it, or at least quite consistently.
So better than Nibelus.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I think Nibelus is mediocre. He opened a Devil's Playground in foil here as well, though. Clearly not for him. Yeah, he'd love to see, one more discard outlet, I think. Another Reckless Scholar he would probably jump out of his chair at.
Sure. Does first pick the Ever After.
But he's very likely to pick up the Accursed Switch here. See what else is in the pack, though. Wow, really? Another Anguish Unmaking? And there's
You
the
take the
Accursed
Witch.
I think so, too. Like, I'm just not convinced that I'm going to be able to cleanly splash for the Anguish Unmaking. If I
Right.
were, then I probably would take it. Having 2 of those seems pretty
Right.
awesome.
If he had, a dual land and a warp landscape in his pile, then the Anguish Unmaking, I think, is better than the Witch. But with no fixing, no free sources of white right now, I just take the Witch.
I think so, too. He could take the Anguish and hope to wheel the Warp Landscape in this pack.
I guess.
Greed mode, engage. No, I don't think that's the correct play. I think what he took is absolutely right. The Cursed Witch is just good.
Right.
It also fits his theme nicely. Ooh, there's another pour over the pages.
Straight to the front. Greedily.
Oh, man. He really wants to see another discard. Again, you don't expect to see them, but a Reckless Scholar here would
Pour
just
over
be
pages is a
fantastic.
discard outlet.
It is. It's good. You'll take it. But, man, you get that Reckless Scholar here, and you're just, yes, we did it.
Does he have that much madness, though?
No, it's not really about madness. He's just got a lot of graveyard interaction right now. He's got the Ever After. He's got not Corpse Churn.
He's got a Macabre Waltz.
Macabre Waltz, thank you. And I think he, would really like to have picked up a few zombies that he could get back out of the graveyard.
Agreed, but he hasn't.
Hasn't done that.
Yeah, this is a value deck at this point, but not a ton of synergy.
Okay, there's another way to get things in the graveyard. I really like Call the Bloodline. I do.
It's good. He doesn't have the vampire synergies
He
or the
really
madness
doesn't.
synergies.
He really doesn't.
I still think you take it.
Yeah, I don't see anything else here. He's not going to take the vessel over it, right?
Angelic Purge, if you're going to splash white.
Look, that is interesting. The one thing that he is missing as well is removal.
Wow.
He really is. Like, he's got a major
yep.
issue on his hands here. If his opponent plays some big werewolf, like, his creatures don't stack up nicely against it, and he's in big trouble. So I actually like that pick quite a bit. Another Call the Bloodline. What is going on here? Oh, a Deadweight.
Wow.
That's a good pickup. Man, Call the Bloodline just could have had 3 of them. I mean, not that you necessarily want 3 of them, but
It's got to be Deadweight.
oh yeah, Deadweight here for sure. I think Reed's bigger issue here, and I think the thing that's going to be going through Reed's head, and that informed that previous pick as well, is just that he needs removal for big things.
Mm-hmm.
So Deadweight's great. It's gonna help him get to the later part of the game. But like here, this is an interesting pick. I don't know what it's up against. Pieces of the puzzle. I think that deny existence might actually end up making the cut for him at this point, just because he's going to be really concerned, that his opponent's going to play a 5-drop something, and that Reed might not have an answer to it.
A lot of red and green cards in this pack.
No, he is not concerned. He's just going to cut.
Yep.
A Gatstaff Arsonist. Pretty aggressive from Reed there.
There wasn't anything in there he was going to play.
I like taking the deny existence, but not that it's good. There's a Drown Yard Explorers. His curve may be getting a little high, but welcome.
I mean, does he... I guess. I mean, Vampire Noble's just so much worse than Drown Yard Explorers. That would be the curve pick, I guess.
Yeah.
Drown Yard Explorers, I think, is actively good, though.
I do, too. Another Fevered Visions. Jeez. And another Highland Lake, but
it's like, where's my white dual lands?
Yeah,
Why
he can play a catalog, but that doesn't do a ton for him here either. So kind of a nothing pick for him. He may even just cut a card. He's just going to take the catalog.
What do you think of this deck? It seems very medium to me.
It's very medium. I mean, that's where you duke. Like, he can piece together wins. He knows what he's doing. But I think that he would agree that this is not, ideal. Man, that's a Keswick Fort. Man, nobody, is there even a red player at the table?
I'm sure there's one. There might only be one, though.
Scowling at Reed right now.
The Warp Landscape did come back, for the record.
Oh, nice.
Press for answers is... No, he takes the Warp Landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reed needs a 2-1. He needs a 2-1 for top 8.
Okay.
His tiebreakers, 2-1 gets him into a scrum. Probably some people are going to miss top 8 on 13-2. But they're probably not going to be the ones from table 1. Like, his tiebreakers should be pretty good if he gets into that scenario.
Now, but when you say a 2-1, that means, because if he goes 2-0 here, then he's probably just...
2-0, he gets to draw in.
He gets to draw in anyway, so he can, if he loses one of the first
he has a
two,
loss
then
to
he
give.
has to win the last one.
He needs a 2-1 or better, if you prefer. I don't love his deck, though. I got to be honest. It's got value. It's got the ability to extend the game. He can get, if he gets into a grindy card advantage-based matchup, I like his chances, but I don't know that he can...
finishers? How is he winning these games, right?
Very slowly.
Yeah.